keep a rolling down to San Antonio. Yeehaw!
Welcome back, viewers, and to another episode of Live from the Rock Cave with Crazy Uncle Dave. Now, if I've done this properly, we should now hopefully have a second camera. And yes, we do. Here I am. So welcome. I'm going a little bit more high tech. My good friend Greeny Tree Frog is here, and Douglas the Duck. Say hello, boys. Hello from Douglas, and hello from Greeny. That wasn't good. Aww. Greeny normally does the news for us. And what happened today, Greeny? Bugger all! Okay, there doesn't seem to be a lot going on in Greeny's life. Not my fault. All right, thank you, Greeny. And I'm going to get straight into it a bit today. Some of my students are about to go into a next level with their soloing. They've been doing very well with the finger exercises. And for me, there's three elements to your playing. There's literally the physical, purely physical and technical aspect of it. And that literally comes out of my quadraphonic equation system, which I stole the idea a long time ago from a well-known session player from the 50s and 60s, I believe, by the name of Mitch Holder. So it's not totally unique, but my approach to it is a little bit unique, and it's available in my book. And you can email me for any further information if you like at davedwyermusic@gmail.com, and I'll try and figure out how to do description thingies like other people do. It's a bit early days for me on YouTube. But my finger exercise system literally revolves around the four fingers of the left hand. Now, there are only 24 possible combinations of those four fingers. And if you want your hand to do weird and wonderful things like mine does, literally, I'll try and use both cameras from time to time, literally my hand will go in any direction I want. And it's strong, literally strong as a vice. And that comes from literally treating each of the four fingers as individual elements of your playing, like a relay team. So if you've got three really strong runners in your relay team, and your last guy unfortunately didn't come to training all year and is pretty slow, then you're going to lose the race, no matter how fast these guys are. So some of the examples of that would be things like an extended A major shape, which is just a 3-note per string shape of a major scale. Now, these are used a lot in a lot of more faster fusion playing and even metal playing, because you can literally pick and hammer on. And you can get all that kind of stuff going. You can do it backwards as well. Or you can do forwards and backwards, or you can do scale in thirds. So my finger exercise system is pretty straight ahead. It involves 1, 2, 3, 4, and the idea is to exercise each finger equally. So you literally have 1, 2, 3, 4 ascending with strict alternate picking. When you're practicing, when you play, you might literally play a couple of upstrokes, because upstrokes sound different to downstrokes, even if they played exactly the same hardness. A good upstroke will get you really nice, subtle playing. Now, with the exercise system, we literally form a pattern. If you know anything about the way we learn, there's your conscious mind, which is doing all the constant thinking. there's your subconscious where things are stored, but there's a little level in the middle that contains what's called the autonomic system. And this is stuff that you do, your body does literally automatically, but constantly. So literally like blinking, breathing, your heart beating, your brain's actually controlling that. And it has to stay semi-alert to do that. And our brain naturally wants to go to sleep once we know something. So once you play this over and over enough times, what'll happen is your brain will go, I know that, and it'll put it over into sort of a subconscious. And then when you happen to change something, it'll go, oh, what happened? And then you've got that, literally, when you're playing at speed, you're talking nanoseconds, you're talking absolute blinding speed, you've got to correct something. So the way to do that is to force your brain to stay a little bit constantly alert. And this is achieved with this system by literally swapping only 2 fingers. If I do something radically different, if I go from that to, my brain immediately wakes up. But if it sees something that's quite familiar, 1, 2, 3, it'll go, oh yeah, that again. Literally, and this happens at blinding speed you're not aware of, and it'll go to sleep. And then what you'll end up with is, if you try and do this, 1, 2, 4, 3. Literally 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just numbers. So if you do a little change, your brain goes, whoops, oh, what happened? Because it thought when it saw those 2, it literally happens at blinding speed, that it switches off. So you literally go, and then you come down backwards. A little sloppy there. Then when you get used to that, your brain starts going to sleep again. And it says, oh, I sort of know that. I'll just put that away somewhere for later recall. You need this stuff at blinding speed to play well. So you can then change a couple more numbers. And they are in a strict order. And if you do them strictly in order and learn them all, you can do the entire sequence in under an hour, literally. And I used to do these whole 24 every night before I walked on stage, every night. And I practice constantly now, and I've been playing 48 years, so I practice 4 or 5 hours, 7 days a week, always. Keep my hands in shape. So you just change to another number. 1, 3, 2, 4. And you get the idea. You can contact me to get my book. Remember, it's just davedwyermusic@gmail.com. And just be a small delivery fee. But it's a good book called The Guitar Player's Survival Guide, and it contains everything I've learnt. Well, not everything I've learnt. It contains the stuff I've learnt in 48 years of playing at the top level, and it's minus all the stuff that you don't really need to be a good functional guitar player. Maybe not, world-class Wembley Stadium, but, you mightn't be aiming for that. You'll certainly get your hands together. So that's the system, and literally you end up doing it like almost one exercise per string. And this one's a hard one. It's literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 4, 3, 1, 3, 2, 4, 1, 3, 4, 2, 1, 4, 2, 3, 1, 4, 3, 2. And I'm not even going to attempt the backwards one at this point. Also, you can start spreading these across strings. And this is really good, even just the 1, 2, 3, 4. And I had an exercise that until I could do this at speed, and I won't try it at the speed I used to play at it anymore, but until I could do this at speed, I wouldn't go on stage, no matter what anybody else in the band said. So it was literally, and you can see, strict alternate picking, and that is an exercise basically called the spider. And I have another one my students learn, which is like a small version of the spider. You literally play 1, 2, 3, 4 across the top 4 strings, top, higher in pitch. Then you come down the 1 string and back down in reverse, back down to where you started, and you go round and round it. When you get good at it, you can then you get better at it, you can literally speed it up a bit rusty at the moment. That's probably enough on the finger exercise system. As you can see, all 4 fingers got used all the time. And with the thing like this scale, literally, if you watch my fingers, I'm playing 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4. 1 and 4 are doing all the work. 2 is doing 2/3 of the work. 3 is doing 1/3 of the work. And when you do this exercise system properly, you'll literally be able to do this with your hand. So you can bend whatever finger you want. That's a hard exercise to do. If you try that, that's a good party trick. But you can do that one, and you can do across those ones, and you can do whatever you like. So that's your hands. That is the practical side of good playing. Now I'll move on because it's going to be a long video. The next part of your playing is literally your theory. And my trusty old piano here. I'm going to drop the guitar for a sec. Literally knowing how chords are built is very important. And all my students learn at least a little bit of piano. And you can probably see my drum kit hiding over the back here. The full electronic drum kit system there, and there's a lot of guitars in here. And the theory of music is very essential. And if you think theory is going to turn you into a jazz player, it's not. It doesn't matter if you're a metal player, whatever, blues player. You're just going to be better at it because you understand what you're doing. And that's how I teach. I don't teach parrot fashion. I don't teach people just to literally go to this camera now. To literally just copy what I play. I teach them to actually understand what they're doing. So we do that with a various bunch of systems. Music is literally made up of the first 7 letters of the alphabet. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And if you ever wanted to play piano, that's it. Literally in that space there, I go from C, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. That's a C major scale. If you want to impress your friends at a party, go, I can play a C major scale in 5 octaves. There you have it. So all the white keys are literally the C major scale. They are also the A minor scale. It's what's called relative minor. It's exactly the same scale, but you think of it differently. So you think in A. So for A minor, but if you want to be in C, you think in C. Exactly the same notes. Totally different sound, so you can get nice. And playing a second instrument, if you're a pro player, being able to play another instrument is literally a great thing. When I got the gig with 1927, 15 of the country's best guitar players went for that gig. And a couple of them, like Pete Northcote, Ben Butler, better players than me at the time, and Pete still is a better player than me. He's an incredible player. But I also play keyboards. And that became very useful many years later when we went down to a 4-piece. When James and Charlie left the band and Eric and Bill were saying, well, what are we going to do? Who are going to get the keyboards? And we were going in a bit of a rockier direction, so there wasn't really a ton of keyboards except for the old hits, like Compulsory Hero and stuff like that. And I literally played keyboards on stage. In one song, I literally played in the song You'll Never Know. There's a guitar riff, and there's a big brass stab, and I just hammered on the guitar. I'll show you that in another video. And I played the brass stab with the other hand. And then and my pick in my mouth and went wow with the harmonic, and off we went. So learning harmony on an instrument is great, an additional instrument. If you want to be a working musician, and it's my dear hope that the music industry I used to love and know comes back. And a lot of my young students, like 12, 13, 14-year-old boys and girls that are literally playing guitar. They're not interested in loops and dance music, all due respect to any kind of music, but they want to hear rock, and they're into Led Zeppelin, and they're into Jimmy Barnes, and they're into, good mate of mine, and they're into, Eric Clapton and stuff like that. They're into Motley Crue, they're into Metallica, and they're not interested in playing synthesizers. They learn a bit of piano, but they don't really want to do it. But they learn a bit of drums as well for their rhythm, another element to playing. So literally, knowing what's going on the keyboard is very important. Scales are very simple. Literally, a C major scale is C, D, E, crossover if you can see it, F, G, A, B, C. And I've used a thing called the claw. That is literally the claw. And it is literally play a note, skip the D, go to the E, skip the F, go to the G. That is a C major chord. That's it. That's all it is. And if you move it up, it becomes other chords. And you learn that when you learn a bit more music theory, but you don't need it straight up to get started. Literally, Paul McCartney wrote Let It Be in the key of C, and it only has 4 chords, basically. It has a C, a G, an A minor, and an F. And find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me. And then, that's it. That's pretty much the whole song. Let it be, let it be, let it be, yeah, let it be. C, C, G, F, E minor, D minor, C. And that's it. When you build a chordal scale in C, you will end up with the chords C major, you'll end up with D minor, you'll end up with E minor, F major, G major, A minor, B half diminished, which is literally a major chord. That's a B major with a flattened third and a flattened 5. Well, that's B diminished. If you add in the rest of the chord, the flat 7, you get a half diminished. If you add in a 4th note, literally using that formula, play a note, skip a note, play a note, skip a note, play a note, skip a note, play a note, you will end up with a C major 7, a D minor 7, an E minor 7, an F major 7, a G dominant 7th. It's a major chord with a flattened 7th interval. G is the octave, 8. F sharp is the 7th, makes a G major 7 chord, and if you flatten that, you get a dominant 7th. Blues chord. Then you go to an A minor 7, then you end up with a B diminished 7th, a B minor 7, which would be literally that is a B minor 7 chord, but the 5th is flattened, but the 7th isn't. And you drop that again, diminish 6th. You raise literally the 5th note, so you go back to the 5, sharpen that, end up with an augmented 7th. Put the major interval back in. It's really not that hard. And there's a lot of people, this is funny using 2 cameras. I'm going to get a 3rd one soon too, so you can actually see what I'm doing on the keyboards better. So you've got your practical, your guitar playing, and really it doesn't matter what instrument you play. And I primarily got the gig with 1927, literally, apart from the fact I went in prepared, I knew all the songs because I was replacing the original guitar player, Gary Frost. I bought Ish, I didn't play on Ish, I bought that album. And I actually had one of my students transcribe everything, all the solos and everything for his lesson, so I'm lazy. And yeah, Jamie Wilson, well-known player, you can look him up on the internet, he's a fabulous player. Took him on at the age of, I think, 9 or 10, and by the age of 15 he left school and played with Jimmy Barnes. First gig in the real world, the big show. So played with Richard Clapton, a lot of people. Lives in Malaysia now and he's a phenomenal player. So hunt him down on the internet. And hi Jamie if you're watching. But yeah, so get your practical, get your hands going, both hands, literally. And you can do a lot of your exercises on a piano if you haven't got a guitar handy. And I often do. My right hand for finger picking, I do this. I just go up and down 5 notes. You want to do it with your left hand, literally. I included the thumb in that left hand exercise so that I can literally I love playing piano. And as I said, the additional skills you bring to a gig may just get you the gig. And the other skill I had was I was the only guitar player that went for the audition out of 15 of us, I believe it was. And I got the very last audition. I had to actually have another audition because my manager begged the lady that was running the show to literally take me on as the last player to audition. I think my computer just died, but I'll just turn it back up. And I could sing an octave. I'm not going to try it now. Eric Wiedemann has a fantastic voice. And when I walked in the first audition at like 8:30 or 9 o'clock in the morning, he's singing, he's hitting those notes. And I could, on a good day, sing an octave above Eric, which is in falsetto. But all the hero, compulsory hero, and all those high harmonies, so I had to sing all the very top parts of that. And I couldn't probably do it now, but that literally got me the gig. I came in prepared, I looked the part, I knew the tunes, and we literally ran down 18 songs from their last tour before Gary left the band, and I think I made one mistake. And that was literally not a mistake. I sang a high harmony, and that's when I think of you, and the band's first hit single, and Eric stopped and said, "There's no harmony in this song." And I went, "No problem." So also, if you want to be a pro player, learn how to get along with people and turn up, show up, be professional, be on time, and do what the job requires. And there were some players, I won't mention them because they're old mates of mine, but one fellow was right into the Motley Crue metal thing and everything else. So turned up in the spandex tights, the double Marshall stacks, the ripped t-shirt, and he had hair out here, and he played every fast lick he could think of. And I think he got through about half a song before they said, "Look, thanks, that's not what we're looking for." So they really needed someone who could slot into the band straight away. The important thing. So you put those couple of things together, and then you start being able to solo. And another quick little thing I'm going to show you today. I'm sorry it's such a long video, but I may even chop it up, I'm not sure. But we'll just have a bit of a look at a couple of other things. I've got the guitar back on. Now, what we've got here is my students are about to learn a bit of the minor major pentatonic overlay. Now, I'm not sure if I invented this or not, or I just formalised what it's called. I can't even remember, really, to be honest. I might have got it off somebody. I don't know. Had a great early teacher by the name of Paul Wiseman. Paul, if you're watching, thank you, because he put up with me. And teaching me was like babysitting a toddler with a machine gun, I can tell you. So I was very stubborn. But literally, a minor pentatonic is a 5-note version of the full natural minor scale. That is an A natural minor scale. Over the 2 octaves. Minor pentatonic is a 5-note version of it. Which leaves out 2 classic notes, which is, I think, is where Jimi Hendrix got the idea for Purple Haze. I can't remember how the riff goes. And that is the 9 and the sharp 5, the B and the F. They're left out. You end up with what many people call the blues scale. If you add in a flat 5, an E flat, so it's a 1, flat 3, a 4, a 5, and a flat 7. Makes a minor pentatonic scale. A, C, D, E, G. You add in the flat 5, the E flat. Remember the Doobie Brothers song? Something like that. And then most people go, what do I do over that? That's where arpeggios come in. Literally, play an arpeggio. And you've got come down chromatic. Good old chromatic. More of that in a sec. So this is a long video, but you're going to kind of get a snapshot of everything I do. So literally I take a minor pentatonic when I'm playing in minor or blues. But if I take a minor pentatonic and then I take a 5-note version of the A major scale. So A major, A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G sharp, and A. Now if I toss out a couple of notes, doesn't matter what they are. There's a major pentatonic, great for sort of slow jazz blues or country. Make it a bit bluesy. Great blues lick, that one. Now if you put those on top of each other, you end up with a minor major pentatonic overlay. So you end up with this great scale that is literally, what's these 4 notes in a row? Once again, that's in my book. The key elements of that, because it's minor and major at the same time, so you can't just play the whole scale. You've got to sit in one tonality, in minor, drop into major. Sit in major, drop into minor. And that is literally dictated by 2 groups of intervals. The minor third, the C, and the major third, C sharp. Which literally is how you get a minor chord, A minor. A, C, E is an A minor chord. A, C sharp, E is a major chord. That simple. If you add in a flat 7, you end up with a dominant 7 chord. So, trying to skip ahead and condense it all in. So, if you have literally that scale, you basically sit in one tonality and drop in and out of the other. So the key elements are the C and C sharp, minor third to major third, and literally the 6 to the flat 7. The F sharp, and know where all those are located on the neck if you want to use this scale properly. And flat 7. And your minor third, major third. And on and on. So you literally get things like this. You all would probably know a crossing pattern in a minor pen. Most people do. But if you drop in the minor down to the 6, you end up with pretty much Larry Carlton, Robin Ford in a bag. All out of scales you already know. chromatic, never fails. So that's where you get that minor major blues. But my students will eventually be going into what I call the OmniScale, which is a term I think I developed. But it's not unique. It's born out of George Van Epp's 12-tone concept. I've still got the book. It's like this thick. I bought 40-something years ago, and I think I got through about 15 pages before my brain exploded. So I've still never done the full book, and I plan to one day. But George literally had theories that every chord had 11 other names, depending which root note you looked at it from. Every single scale had 11 other names, depending on how you viewed it, and it's a real mind-blower. And I've got an original copy of it I bought from Lombardo Music when I was about 16. I'm 61 now, so it's an old book. So no, you can't borrow it. But literally, my OmniScale is literally a chromatic scale. Every single note, all 12 notes. And this, using that scale, is a way advancing. I'm probably writing a second book just on that scale and how to use it. And I'll probably do a bit of a video series about it too. But the OmniScale literally involves using a framework underneath. And the minor pentatonic or the blues scale is a fantastic framework for most of what you'd need to do. You add in a minor major pent and you know where your major pents are as well, you can't go wrong. Literally, if you know that and that, just the pents, okay? From recollection, you've literally only got 4 notes you haven't used. Yeah, 3 if you count the octave anyway. So you have literally a minor major pentatonic overlay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And if you add in a harmonic minor, 9. So this is the OmniScale. It literally uses a pentatonic framework and then you look for the intervals. So it requires incredible neck knowledge. You need to be able to literally go, there's an A, 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 there's an A. A lot faster than that. So, and I saw Lee Ritenour do a demonstration of that at the Hilton Hotel many years ago. And it was unbelievable the speed at which you could do it. People were yelling out notes and he went, blah, 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 and he knew exactly where every note of the neck was. And it's achievable. You can do it. If you start with one note and you know where that note is everywhere on the neck, guess what? You're only got 11 to go. It's not hard. Good playing is not hard either. It depends on how hard you work. That's all it is. What separates you from any great player, yeah, there's some natural talent in there and everything else, but literally, you might have heard of a term called the 10,000 hours. If you put 10,000 hours into anything you want to achieve, you should end up, if you work it properly, an expert in that. Anything. There's nothing you can't do, barring any physical limitations or, mental limitations or whatever. But literally, you can do anything you want. I'm a great believer in that. And so you put them all together and literally the OmniScale becomes this kind of weird, I want to go into major, I'm in there. I want to stay in major, I drop into there. Suddenly they go, whoops, it's a minor now. And, oh, it's gone to an altered dominant. Well, let's go. What I call the parachute analogy. You can play almost anything as long as you land in the right spot. So if you jump out of an aeroplane with a parachute, I don't care what kind of plane it was or how it was. You miss the planet, you're stuffed. So the parachute analogy, I call it. You can literally go, and you are back in D. Minor or major or dominant, who cares? You can't go wrong with a root note. The other 2 notes you cannot go wrong with is a root note and a fifth. So literally that's where you get your power chords from. Now a power chord is neither major or minor because it's missing the third. And that's how you get major and minor. So if you play a root and a fifth note, in an A, you could literally straight basic blues lick. It's going to sound fine. Or you could go. And it sounds major. You could go minor major pen overlay over that. You could go whole tone over it. As long as you got back to an A. That's the parachute analogy. Anyway, that's probably enough for today. I really want to test out this multi-camera thing. I hope you enjoyed this sort of a lesson. I do actually plan on maybe doing some video teaching too. So even if you're from wherever, I've got a mate. By the way, I made friends with a whole pile of people. And if you're watching, Dave, hello. I'm now friends, inverted commas. We've never met face to face with a retired, I think he was New York fire captain, wasn't it, Dave? Leave a comment. And I think one of the early responders in 9/11, but I'm not sure. But he's retired and he lives up in Saskatchewan, Canada, which I believe is very cold. But I'm going to go and visit him one day. So clear out the garden shed, Dave, because you don't want me in your house, even though I don't drink anymore. So on that note, I'm going to end with our theme song. And it's Goodbye from Greenie. Where are you, Greenie? You're going to do a... Oh, you're not going to make that rude noise. Yes, I am. Greenie, that's not nice. Oh. And it's Goodbye from Douglas. Thank you, Douglas. That'll be enough out of you. There we go. And with our theme song, one of my favourites, but done on guitar this time. So normally I play it on the piano, but this is what it sounds like in a country finger picking style. I'm not very good at country, but I'll give it a go. Well, I hear that train a coming, roll around the bend. I ain't seen the sunshine since I don't know when, but I'm stuck in past and present. Time keep rolling on. That train keeps rolling down to San Antone, and a pedal steel. Ah. Thanks for having me and being guinea pigs for my new 2-camera setup. And if you'd like to know more about the fabulous rock cave, I'm going to kill camera 2 now and see if I disappear. Yay! And if you didn't get camera 2, it just means it didn't work. So anyway, that's camera 2 done. This is camera. I'll turn my guitar off now. I think we've turned off my guitar, and we should now have just me and my voice and Greenie and Douglas. Thanks for watching live from the Rock Cave. Sorry it's a long video, but hopefully you got a lot out of it, and feel free to contact me if you'd like to know more about my teaching system. Just email Dave Dwyer Music, DaveDwyerMusic @gmail.com. And also be sure to tell all your friends about Live from the Rock Cave. There's going to be a lot more guitar playing on here. There's been a lot of stuff with just my students, but I'm going to start literally documenting a lot of the way I think and play. And I put a lot of work into the way I think, and I think quite differently from a lot of conventional players. So if you like what I do and you'd like to know more, just send me an email. And thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you all next time in the Rock Cave.